Hi, Don Catalano here from iOptimizeRealty. Let's have a quick little fireside chat. Imagine there's a little fire behind me going on. Let's talk about the disinformation that's being put out about conversion of office buildings to residential apartments. I'm a CCIM, I actually wore the pin for this video. CCIM, if you're not familiar with, is someone that really geeks out on the numbers, the math behind real estate, and really analyzes it. And let me tell you the reality. The reality is, to convert an office building, it's better if it's an older office building, which we'll get into, is going to cost about $300 to $600 a square foot. And that's in a non-unionized area. In your unionized area, add about a third to that. So the only way it pencils, the only way it makes financial sense for a developer, and that's not even getting into some other details which we're gonna get into, but just talk about the financial sense, is if it becomes luxury apartments or luxury condos that are sold for millions of dollars, not what most Americans need. But politically, it sounds good. It's a great soundbite to say, oh yes, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams wearing his little construction hat, walking around buildings, yes, we're gonna convert these. Okay, with whose money? Whose money? And that gets into the other thing. And it's not just Eric Adams, don't mean to pick on him, but the politicians, they're telling you a lot of the things you'd like to hear, but there's no reality behind it. Because the only way to make housing for most Americans, apartments for most Americans out of these office buildings is by substantial government subsidies. Right now, in 2024, they talked about, the Biden administration, $83 million. $83 million around the country, that's enough to convert maybe a few office buildings. Certainly not enough to move the needle. Understand that. And even if they rolled out billions of dollars, understand at the time of this video shoot, our national deficit is $32 trillion. And we're spending $1.2 trillion just on interest payments. To put that in perspective, we spend $800 billion on defense. So we're spending 50% more just on interest than we are spending on national defense. And it's going up from there. And so if they're gonna rob the piggy bank more, and the piggy bank is really our piggy bank, it's our tax dollars, they're really taking the money, not just away from you and me, but from our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. The only way that they can subsidize these office buildings converted into apartments is to rob that piggy bank more and promise and provide significant financial incentives for developers to do it. Then there's also changing the zoning, which I actually think is well, it's not easy, it's easier than coming up with all the money. The newer office buildings are actually harder to convert because of their bigger footprints. If you could imagine, you don't want an apartment with a very little window and a long rifle shot, or where you can sight a rifle apartment with very little window. You want a good ratio of window and fresh air to the length and width of the apartment. Well, the newer office buildings don't really support that in their layouts. So really, you have to take out a chunk of the core of that building, add that to your cost, so you can bring natural light into what was the elevator shafts, right? And take out a significant part of that core and fresh air. Because us humanoids, we like light and we like fresh air. Yeah, we do. It's a completely different design, an apartment building versus a modern office building. So to convert it, in some cases it can be done and it will be done, but it's not, as a rule, so feasible economically. And then, as I mentioned, there's the zoning challenges. So that's our take on it. Stay tuned as these things develop, we'll see. But it's not like flipping a light switch. Don Catalano from iOptimizeRealty. Let us know if you like this type of content. Thank you so much.